Welcome to session 3 of forced vibrations. In this session, we will be discussing about rotating and reciprocating unbalance. In the last two sessions, we have discussed about the derivation of the forced vibrations for undamped and damped single degree of freedom systems. We shall continue our forced vibration chapter again with rotating and reciprocating unbalance. What is meant by rotating unbalance? A machine having the rotor as one of its components is called a rotating machine. Examples of rotating machines are turbines and IC engines. The unbalance occurs when the center of gravity of the rotor does not coincide with the axis of rotation. Figure shows a rotating machine. Here the unbalance is represented by m, that is the eccentric mass, e is the eccentricity and omega is the angular velocity. Let capital M be the mass of the machine including the mass small m, and x is the displacement of the non-rotating mass, that is m minus m. Now the displacement of the mass m is given as x plus e sine omega t. Hence the equation for the motion will be m minus m x double dot, because the total mass is nothing but m minus m, so therefore mx double dot can be written as m minus m x double dot plus m d square by dt square of x plus e sine omega t. So here the displacement of the mass m is nothing but m into x double dot. Here the value of x is x plus e sine omega t is equals to minus kx minus cx dot, the spring force and the damping force. Now opening the bracket and simplifying, we can write the above equation as mx double dot minus mx double dot plus mx double dot minus m omega square e sine omega t. That is, when e sine omega t is differentiated twice, we get omega square e sine omega t, and multiplied with m, it is minus m omega square e sine omega t is equals to minus kx minus cx dot. In the above equation, the like terms are minus mx double dot and plus mx double dot with a opposite signs. So therefore they cancel with each other and the equation reduces to mx double dot capital mx double dot plus cx, that is on the right hand side, so it becomes plus cx dot, and minus kx coming to the left side, it becomes kx is equals to m omega square e sine omega t, so is taken to the right hand side. Let us call this as equation number 1. The equation of motion for the damped vibration is mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx is equals to f naught sine omega t. Let us call this as equation number 2. Now equation 1 and 2 are similar, or they are identical, except that we have f naught which is replaced by m omega square e in the equation 1. Thus replacing f naught as m omega square in the forced vibration equation, we can get the maximum displacement x max as m omega square divided by square root of k minus capital M omega square whole square plus c omega whole square is equals to m divided by capital M into e into omega by omega n whole square divided by under the root of 1 minus omega by omega n whole square under the root, and this is also a square term, so therefore again we have to replace it inside a square flower bracket, plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. This is the equation for maximum displacement. Now the phase angle phi is nothing but tan inverse of 2 zeta omega by omega n divided by 1 minus omega by omega n whole square, that is tan inverse of y by x. The complete solution of this rotating unbalance will be x of t is equals to complementary function plus particular integral function. So therefore x of t is equals to capital X e to the power of minus zeta omega nt sine of omega dt plus phi 1, plus the complementary function is replaced, and now the particular integral function is omega square into m into e sine omega t minus phi divided by square root of k minus m, that is capital M, omega square whole square plus c omega whole square. This is the complete solution for the rotating unbalance, which includes the complementary function as well as the particular integral function. Now let us discuss about the reciprocating unbalance. In case of reciprocating unbalance, the figure below shows the reciprocating unbalance wherein we have the mass m as the equivalent mass of the reciprocating parts, and here capital M represents the total mass of the reciprocating parts including the mass small m. Let L be the length of the connecting rod and R or E is also taken as the length of the crank. Now the inertia force due to reciprocating parts M1 is equal to m omega square E sin omega t plus E by L sin 2 omega t. Here the equation of inertia force is now written further as, since E is small, the second harmonic can be neglected, and therefore the exciting force will be only m omega square E sin omega t. It is same as that of the rotating mass. Hence the analysis of rotating mass is also applicable to the rotating unbalance also if E is a small. Now we shall discuss the next topic, that is vibration isolation and transmissibility ratio. Coming to vibration isolation attempts either to protect a delicate object from excessive vibration transmitted to it from its supporting structure, or to prevent vibration forces generated by the machine from being transmitted to its surroundings. So here vibration isolation acts as an isolator to absorb the vibrations produced in the structure or in the machine. So examples of vibration isolators are example cork, felt, pad, metallic springs, etc. The force is transmitted, the vibration force is transmitted to this vibration isolator, and hence the machine is being protected from damages. Transmissibility ratio. The ratio of force transmitted to the foundation to the impressed force is known as force transmissibility. Transmissibility ratio is denoted by E or TR. Here transmissibility ratio is nothing but the ratio of force transmitted to the foundation because of the vibration to the applied force. Figure shows the force diagram and vector diagram of a machine with the isolators such as springs and dampers. So therefore, the force transmitted to the foundation can be written as Ft is equal to square root of kx whole square plus c omega x whole square. In the figure C, we can see that the transmitted force Ft is nothing but kx whole square plus c omega x whole square. So it is similar to a right angle triangle and the hypotenuse is 0 to Ft. So therefore, using the Pythagoras theorem, the equation for Ft is written as below. Now, since x is a common terminology in both the terms, so therefore x is taken common and therefore we are left over with under the root k square plus c square omega square. Let us call this as equation number 1. Now, the equation for the maximum displacement or capital X is equals to F naught by K divided by square root of 1 minus omega by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. In this equation, the force transmitted Ft becomes F naught by K divided by square root of 1 minus omega by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square into under the root k square plus c square omega square. So therefore, the transmissibility ratio Tr will be equals to Ft by F naught, where F naught is nothing but m omega square E. Let us call this as equation number 2. Ft by F naught is also known as force transmissibility. So therefore, by simplification, we can write that the transmissibility ratio E or Tr is equals to under the root 1 plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square divided by 1 minus omega by omega n square whole square plus 2 zeta omega by omega n whole square. Let this be called as equation number 3. Here, the transmitted force lacks the impressed force as seen in the figure. So that is nothing but phi minus alpha. So the transmitted force is phi and the impressed force is alpha. Therefore, phi minus alpha, where alpha is nothing but tan inverse of c omega x divided by kx, which is nothing but tan inverse of 2 zeta omega by omega n. So therefore, using this, we can write the equation for phase angle of the transmitted force as phi minus alpha is equals to tan inverse of 2 zeta omega by omega n divided by 1 minus omega by omega n whole square minus tan inverse of 2 zeta omega by omega n. Let us discuss a few multiple choice questions on the topics we discussed. The first question is, in vibration isolation system, transmissibility will be equal to unity for all values of damping factor if omega by omega n is, options given are equal to 1, B equal to 2, C less than 2, D greater than 2. As we discussed that vibration isolators are those which try to absorb the excessive vibrations, and the transmissibility will be equal to unity for all values of damping factor if the ratio of omega by omega n is equals to 2. So therefore, the right answer will be option B. Now, looking on to the second question, transmissibility ratio is defined by, there are some symbols given, 4 symbols given as options. One is zeta, second one is delta, third is summation symbol, and the fourth symbol is a E. So, as we discussed now, transmissibility ratio may be indicated as TR or E. So, therefore, the right answer is option D. Which of the following is correct regarding isolation factor? Options are dimensionless quantity, B has Newton as its unit, C has Joule as its unit, D has Hertz as its unit. We know that vibration isolators are those which are having a dimensionless quantity. So therefore the correct term with respect to isolation factor is a dimensionless quantity. That is, the right answer will be option A. Moving on to the next question. Which of the following is a type of transmitted force to the foundation? That is, what type of force or what will be the nature of force that will be transmitted to the foundation? The different forces are given like A damping force, B undamping force, C tensile force and D torsional force. Here we know that when the body is subjected to vibration, the force transmitted to the foundation will be a damping force. So therefore the right option will be option A, that is damping force. With this we come to the end of this session. Thank you.